Michigan State Senator and Republican candidate for governor of Michigan, Eric Nesbitt. Senator, thanks so much for joining us again on the program. We get news today that Hezbollah inspired this terrible attack in Michigan. How does that shape your thinking about the threat environment, and how can you keep Michiganders safe as governor?
Hey, Matt, thanks for covering this. As we know, this is what the face of Islamic terrorism looks like here in our homeland, here in Michigan. It's unfortunate to see this, but this is what happens when you don't vet people that are coming to our countries. When the family's related to Hezbollah, when this person is acting based upon what Hezbollah is doing, these are folks that should have never been able to set foot in this country. Unfortunately, President Trump has taken good action over the last year and a half to stop these folks at the border, to enhance the vetting process that's going on. But this is what happens when we have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that have come into this country unvetted.
Yeah, well, part of that vetting process, of course, includes the Department of Homeland Security, ongoing investigations by Homeland Security investigations units. Right now, Senate Democrats in Washington are holding up funding for the full Department of Homeland Security. Do you think that's making the people of your state less safe?
Well, I mean, we have to ask, why did he feel so comfortable here in Michigan, and yet we see Democrats emboldening them? We have two U.S. senators, Alyssa Slockins and Gary Peters, that continue to refuse funding for the Department of Homeland Security. They refuse to vote for full funding to protect our homeland. And yet we see acts like this happening in our backyard. And they actually voted against it the afternoon that this terrorist made these actions a few weeks ago.
Paint a picture for us of how a Governor Nesbitt would be working with the administration right now on immigration enforcement and to stop these type of terrible terrorist attacks inspired by foreign terror groups.
Well, first and foremost, we need to ban sanctuary cities. We need to have local law enforcement, state law enforcement working with federal law enforcement. We need to work with President Trump to make sure Department of Homeland Security and those on the front lines of federal law enforcement agencies are actually fully funded to make sure that we're getting out every criminal illegal alien from the state of Michigan. You need to have a partner. As the next governor of Michigan, I'm going to partner with the Trump administration for the largest ICE extraction in Michigan history, to make sure that we have agencies here that are extracting these criminal illegal aliens. And we see this time after time where people are too afraid to speak up because they're afraid of offending somebody. I'm sorry, this is our kids. These are our families. These are our communities that we are protecting. And this isn't the first time, just in the last few months, of what's been happening in Metro Detroit. I was with you this last fall, right before Halloween, where there was a guy that was about ready to do a mass shooting at a nightclub on Halloween night in Metro Detroit. Again, another person that did not get fully vetted. We need to make sure that we have our homeland protected, that instead of what we've seen out of Governor Whitmer, that allows sanctuary cities, that gives free housing, free aid, free legal services to illegal aliens. I'm going to be a governor that actually says no free services to illegal aliens, join with President Trump to make sure every criminal illegal is deported from this state, and work to make sure that we have strong vetting of these individuals that shouldn't be in our homelands. If you hate America, go back to where you're come from, or you're being locked in jail.
This individual was a citizen, sadly. Do you think that if people are from countries that have had insufficient vetting, we might have to go back and look at people who have some type of legal status, but whose full story may not be known and whose threat to the country may be severe?
Yeah, if you lie in your applications to become a citizen, out. Period, paragraph. Get it rejected. This appears to be done under the Obama administration. What we saw it both on the Obama and Biden administration, the lax open border policies. This is exactly why President Trump was elected again 2 years ago, was the Biden border bloodbath that we saw. Not just every day on the news coming in from Mexico and on the border there, but these are folks that were coming out unvetted on planes coming over from overseas and land crossings. This needs to stop. We need to get to the bottom of it. And this is exactly why President Trump and the Republican Congress last year passed some of the largest increases in ICE funding and Department of Homeland Security funding to make sure that our homeland is protected. I'm just we're counting our blessings here in Michigan that this terrorist didn't even do more bad, kill more people. I mean, this person was really, it was pretty amazing. He was looking up ways of finding the most people at the temple, most kids at the temple to be able to kill and blow them up. And was even looking up times for when Trump would be in town to kill his supporters and maybe even go after him. This needs to stop. We need to join with ICE and join with the Department of Homeland Security to make sure every one of these folks are sent back where they belong.
In your fellow Midwestern state of Minnesota, a lot of attention has been drawn to the fraud that some of these immigrant communities had industrialized at mass scale. Do you have concerns that may be going on in Michigan, and what will you do as governor to root out fraud?
We know what's going on in Michigan. My office and myself, we've already investigated and uncovered some of these things with adult foster care, the systems where they find Nigerian immigrants that are running adult foster care agencies that have no patience, that can't speak English, don't know the services they're providing, and yet the Governor Whitmer administration is looking the other way. This is why this year's election is so important. If it's going on here in Michigan, if what we've seen in Minnesota is going on, the amount of fraud, waste, and abuse, your next governor, I'm going to make sure we have a huge audit of this government, stop the funding of waste, fraud, and abuse, and make sure that people have more money in their pockets instead of more money going up to Lansing to the government. Day one, we need to make sure that we stop funding these organizations that hate us. And day one, I'm going to make sure that we stop funding these waste, fraud, and abuse and have a full record of a full audit of all these agencies that are getting this money.
Some in the left-wing media are freaking out over this new contract between us at OANN and YouTube TV.
It's dangerous that One America News is being platformed on such a large digital streaming pay TV provider. You're freaking out about the fact that people have choice. Like people can't be allowed to hear what they have to say. OAN is not the only channel on YouTube TV. There's like dozens of them. So if you don't like what's being said here, we hope you stay, but there's many other things going on in the world. This is how the left operates, Alicia. They operate in censorship. Mm-hmm. They don't believe in choice and letting people do their own homework. This is the way the authoritarian left works. They don't believe in choice because they don't like the fact that we don't live in the 1960s anymore with 3 networks in your local newspaper.
We have to respect freedom of the press, the First Amendment, free speech. Remember that.
I want to begin tonight by welcoming and thanking all of our new viewers on YouTube TV. Overnight, One America News welcomed a potential 9.4 million new viewers on YouTube TV. So on behalf of everyone here at OAN, welcome to One America News. We are incredibly excited to have you.
This will allow all YouTube TV subscribers to enjoy 16 hours of live news coverage every single day, as well as all of AWE's lifestyle, travel, and family programming, and it will be available in YouTube TV's baseline package. Now, the Vice President and Global Head of Media at YouTube, Justin Connolly, said this about it. Our goal has always been to provide our subscribers with a wide range of content, which is why we're excited to bring One America News to YouTube TV. This partnership gives One America News access to our growing audience, while also giving our subscribers even more choice when it comes to news and entertainment. And we here at The Real Story are extremely grateful for the opportunity to now reach a wider audience. And we're also grateful for the time you give us each and every single day. And we're excited for the future at this amazing network.